What's up, everybody? It's Joe La Puma. You were watching the Complex Sneakers podcast. As always, I'm with my guy, Mr. Matt Welty.
Feels like a new day a little bit, right?
Well, it is actually a new day.
Yeah.
to my left, Mr. Brendan Dunne wearing orange or red?
I said it's red.
It's Comme des Garçons. That's what matters. Just like you, Joe.
Same
Just
way.
like you, Joe.
Record skip. It's okay. Yeah. How we doing?
I feel great.
I said this is sneaker related, so I said it felt like a new day because behind the scenes information, we had to switch desks
Oh, I see.
We're closer.
in the office.
In the office, not here in the studio.
Right, but
yeah.
we're the seating chart, they put us together.
But
Yes.
as the only thing that matters for the three of us
Yes.
is the sneaker situation, right? Because
In the office and in life.
for those who don't know, I guess the three of us have significant sneaker stashes at the office just
Yeah.
because
Not something I'm proud of, but
you don't want to you can't physically take everything home all the time, or you don't take one thing home and the next thing you know, it's
Although
like,
you got the backyard now.
oh yeah, just put them outside.
Extra space.
Just put the shoes
Wait,
outside.
don't you have the basement access too?
I do.
All right. Just
commandeering
saying.
the common areas.
Even
But-
after the hour and a half delay, you still have access?
All I'm saying is that we've had to shift our shoes, right? Which makes it feel,
It's refreshing, right?
yeah.
It was good we consolidated a bunch too.
Yeah. By the way, can people hear us?
Yeah.
Because I feel like we should just yell this whole time because we got a lot of feedback from, and I'm just only saying this so people know that we do listen to your feedback and we hope that the audio levels are a little bit better. But if not, we can shout for the whole rest of the episode.
What is
if you
it,
listen to the
Anchorman?
podcast.
Loud noises.
Fat Joe, turn the mic up. Yeah.
Or like I said, just turn your volume up on your phone a little bit. But we are looking into the audio issues some listeners experience.
Yes,
on
we
the
are
podcast
addressing
side.
the issues.
So hopefully
Let us
we're
know.
booming through. Hopefully my rich baritone vocals are captured in their full
Exactly.
glory.
Speaking of being in the office, we had a special occasion, and now that it's out, so we can talk about it. But Joe La Puma came through yesterday for a very rare occasion in the office. As everyone knows, the episode of Full Size Run with the one and only, can't
Lloyd.
even say G Unit former, but
Lloyd Banks.
Lloyd Banks.
Boy Wonder.
Very happy
JLP had
about
to
that
come
one.
through for that one.
Came through. Hero moment for me at Complex seeing Lloyd Banks. Shouts to Lloyd Banks.
You were a big Lloyd Banks
You
fan,
went and
just
said
like
hi
me,
to him, though, right?
I did say hi to him.
Yeah.
Said hi to him. I rode the elevator with him. Shouts to Hovain also,
Okay.
who wasn't here. He was in Atlanta.
Did he recognize you, or?
No, we never met.
Oh, I thought
He recognized me.
He recognized him. He said that he watched the show, but
he didn't ask to be on sneaker shopping.
I don't think so. Lloyd Banks, FSR. Thankful to see the live taping of it. Banks coming up, man, one of my favorites.
Yeah, same.
One of my favorites.
Very much so.
And still the catalog
Holds up.
up.
You go
Banks
back to any of those
Victory,
freestyles right now. and
Banks
listen to it.
workout. Doing
How
those
many
10
times
hours.
have you done a workout to Banks workout?
I would say 4 to 6, maybe.
Have you actually?
Not on purpose, but maybe
I
maybe
thought- I
when I
didn't
was
know if
getting
that was a-
buckets at the.
Do you ever
at-
put on the original song, Jay-Z? What is it, Breathe Easy? Or is that what's the actual song called?
I'm not sure.
I had a burned copy of the Blueprint, not the actual album, so that's why I don't know the song name.
Maybe when I was getting buckets at the Yukon Fieldhouse, they were in the headphones.
You think so?
Banks Victory, Banks Workout. Shouts to Lloyd Banks. Shouts to you guys, FSR. Great booking, great season.
Yeah.
Humbly, we're having really good seasons, knock on wood. Both shows. It was great to see some of his sneaker history. And, yeah, I almost wore my Carl Banks Mitchell & Ness jersey.
Okay.
Did he? I know obviously you're a Giants fan, but did he inspire the choice or the purchase?
That's a
They inspire
player
everything.
from the Giants.
I had the G
Carl
in it.
Banks.
I told you guys before. There was a place on campus I walked.
This is
didn't
at
have a
UConn.
car. UConn, and it was just like one of those uniform places where they could just stitch anything on.
Mm-hmm.
And I
You
got
got
a satin jacket. It was like a weird navy blue satin jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And I stitched the G right here,
Mm-hmm.
and then the unit right here, and just wore it in the South.
Making
Dining-
your own bootleg.
Yeah,
It's funny
South
because he
Dining Hall.
actually told us off the record that the original G Unit T-shirts.
record.
No, I mean after the shoot, it wasn't
Okay.
like
Oh.
whatever. It wasn't.
Okay.
It wasn't like we're like.
Just making sure.
He had said that like the original G Unit T-shirts that they had in like the original double XL feature or whatever with Juvenile on the cover were spray paint, not even like airbrush, like spray painted the word G Unit on it. So it's like G Unit has been like almost like non-official clothing since the beginning.
What I told you guys, I feel like Banks always did the G Unit clothing fits great.
Yeah.
He had the G6s with like.
He said he was the most loyal out of all.
He would wear the thermals though, like the G Unit thermal, just little branding, but always made the fits look good.
Always inspired you.
Always inspired.
And me, like I said, I'm a huge Lloyd Banks fan from day one.
Yeah.
Question. So obviously Lloyd Banks not in this grouping, so this isn't referring to that. But when sometimes when you know, a celeb comes through or a sneaker person comes through, are you ever hesitant about meeting them because you know they're going to ask you to be on sneaker shopping?
Never. No one asks that really.
Really?
I don't
No
think
one
so.
ever sees you and they're like, bro, when were you going to get me on sneaker shopping?
Sometimes, but no, that doesn't go into it.
Is it awkward when people?
No. No.
What do you usually? What's your response?
Absolutely.
Even if it's a lie.
Absolutely. No, but that doesn't happen often.
I thought it. No, I really thought.
I don't think so.
Like people like shoot their shot. Like, oh, you know, you need to get my man on the show.
I
or
mean,
something.
happens
Oh, that
also
always
full-size
happens.
run all the time.
That always happens. That always
You got to
happens.
get so and so on the show.
But it's
and then
funny
you're like,
because-
this person with 12,000 Instagram followers, like that's who we're gonna follow up Lupe Fiasco with, like your friend who did a custom Nike shoe one time, you know.
I think it happens more for like kind of like regular non-celebrities who are like, I need to be on the show and talk like sneakerheads, which
And you're like, we just had Cristiano Ronaldo on the show, so respectfully,
respectfully
important we
to
say that.
everyone. But yeah, Banks.
No, you don't need to be on the show.
Well, I don't think Banks is yearning to get on sneaker shopping.
I was
Banks
no,
is-
I was.
oh,
I'm saying
gonna
I
say-
wasn't referring to. I just meant like when you run into people. I didn't know if the first like sometimes if you run into a celeb, the first thing they kind of ask you
No.
is like, oh, I love to get on sneaker shopping. I love shoes.
What is
we
the
have
first
a-
thing they ask
I don't
you?
know. We have a normal conversation. It's just, you know, I know
Peers.
that every time you're around me, we're talking sneakers and work sometimes, but we have normal lives. We could hold conversations that are not work driven, right?
Can I tell you a little bit about my normal life this weekend? Because I was in Long Island and you were nowhere to be
We were
found.
waiting for it. You were 12 miles away from Bayshore. He's inching closer and
I
closer.
think it was
Holtzville.
Holtzville?
For what?
Top Golf.
Okay.
You ever did Top Golf?
I haven't done Top Golf, but I have memories of. I think you've been there too. The Piers, the Chelsea Piers golf.
Yeah, I think I golfed there once.
Weren't you going to go with Nems?
No.
Just kidding. Top Golf was fun, though, I heard.
It's a lot of fun. I can confirm.
I think all I remember is we went to. Were you there that night? It was at the Chelsea Piers driving range. There was like an extra butter like Sperry
No,
launch.
I missed that one.
And our former boss, co-creator of Full Size Run, Gerald,
Yeah.
Just
almost
Gerald.
like killed someone.
Why?
And he had never
Or how?
he had never golfed before, and he just like didn't even like shank
Shanking-
it. He didn't
shanking
even,
him?
no, he didn't even shank it. The ball just kind of like went off the club in such a manner that like it shot just straight to the right, like but only like 6 feet in front, but like full force
Yeah.
and like hit like a metal pipe or something
Wow.
like that. And the weather and like the exact angle he hit it on, the ball went flying backwards and almost like throated someone like
Wow.
next to us. And
Okay.
someone ran up and was like, "If you guys don't know how to hit a golf ball next, you're out of here."
Really? Somebody who worked there?
Yeah.
Or
I mean, he didn't mean to do it.
also, you don't have to be a fucking professional to go to Top Golf, right?
Also,
But it almost like it literally like the ball came shooting back and like
I
almost.
he
think I
didn't
had
mean
a
it.
couple ricochets like that.
Yeah,
that
well,
night.
listen, you
But
never
I
want
also
that to
had
happen.
The best
Yeah.
score out of anybody in my group. so
well,
let's
just
put
to
that out
put a pin on the Gerald thing, you know, his response to, "Oh, you can't shoot balls here." All right, I'll just get a basketball gym in my apartment and just
Yeah.
put buckets
I
8
might
to
hit
10
the
every
bowling
morning.
alley. He's got
Exactly.
a bowling
yeah.
alley.
He
in
has
the
a bowling
basement.
alley?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Back to Long Island for a sec. I get so
Back to you.
disappointed when I go to
And I'm
these.
not there.
I go to these, you know, I go to Jersey City. I don't see Welty. I go to Long Island. I don't see Joe. There's no statues erected in your honor. There's no plaques on the Dairy Queen in Holtzville. To,
Every
to
time I
commemorate your
finally
achievements.
somehow make it across the waters and end up in Brooklyn, I'll be like, "Damn, Brendan Dunne's not outside."
I mean, I'm not from Brooklyn.
But that's where you're at.
I'm there too.
Are you saying it ain't where you're from? It's where you're at.
How was Long Island? How did Long Island treat you?
It was. I loved Top Golf.
I said Long Island, though, not.
We didn't, but that's the thing. We went to Top Golf. We went to Dairy Queen. I got a Blizzard. They turned the Blizzard upside down. You know how they do that?
Yeah.
When you order a Blizzard, they turn it upside down to show you that it's not going to fall out of the cup.
You didn't get it in a baseball hat?
You had a nice little. All right, so hold on. Top Golf. Top Golf. Then you went and you got yourself a Blizzard. Did you go to Adventureland too? Go on the carousel?
I wish.
Just a little. Remember the swinging like little seats that was like old
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
You had your nice little. Just take you to Adventureland too.
It was a good
What
time.
memories of
man.
doing that as a kid? Isn't like the perfect like Long Island experience capping it off with going to a 7-Eleven? Isn't that a thing?
There's 7-Elevens right around here though.
From what we've been told by
Well-
coworkers of ours, that 7-Eleven is like the ubiquitous Long Island.
I would just
Experience.
Yeah.
I would just say soccer practice June sophomore year. So like in varsity soccer or like summer training sessions,
Yeah.
the older guys had the cars. I couldn't drive yet.
Yeah.
Just going to 7-Eleven after practice, and when I tell you what big gulps,
Yeah.
Oh,
but all just like this big, just getting.
Yeah,
It was like
about a foot tall.
Oh my god! It was just the thing to do after soccer practice.
What did you get? in the
I
big
always
gulp?
mix them.
You were doing a mix?
Yeah, I'm not a big slurpee
Isn't that
guy.
a Dave Matthews move? Mix the sodas together?
You know Dave Matthews worked at Subway, right?
I didn't know that.
He was a sandwich artist,
I believe, yeah, he's an artiste in many ways.
which makes sense because his attention to detail is really good. So I was, if you,
Sir, there are only 3
It's still-
meatballs on this 6-inch.
it's still production. It's
Sorry, you can't
literally
put 3
production.
meatballs on a 6-inch, right? How big are the meatballs?
He probably, Dave Matthews probably split them up.
Can we talk about some shoes?
Yeah. Let's talk about shoes.
Welty, I saw you tweeted out those Beams Paperboy New Balances. You like those?
I like them a lot.
You don't like the 1500s? The 1500s look amazing.
So I
to me.
forgot. Not that I forgot about that shoe. It's just there's so many things
Yeah.
going on, and I remember seeing those like a few months ago. It's like the teaser image where I think there's like a bunch of people standing in the dark, like
Yeah.
wearing the mismatched shoes, and I remember seeing it and being like, I really like these.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing, I like both of those silhouettes.
Yeah.
The 920 and the 1500. Mm-hmm. Obviously I have more nostalgia towards the 1500
course.
because the 920 is a new shoe.
Yeah.
I believe it was the last silhouette designed by Mark Godfrey, former head of creative at New Balance, made
Okay.
in UK before he went to Adidas.
Okay.
But with that said, I wanted to like the 1500 more just because the 1500 means.
The Beams Paperboy 1500
Yeah.
specifically.
But I don't know. It's just one of those things that I see the 920 and I like it more.
I'm surprised because we often think of you as a traditionalist, so I thought you would be riding with me on the 1500 pair.
I like the 1500s. I don't.
Did you bring them up, Joe? Do you like those?
I respectfully, I kind of don't know what's going on, but I saw the
I
tweet,
thought
but
you were Googling a photo of them.
no.
Oh, okay.
Great shoes.
Yes.
And also, I don't understand Paperboy, but they make
I don't know what
they make
Paperboy
good
is.
shoes.
Yeah.
I think it's weird that like a sandwich shop does sneakers, but they make good shoes.
Everybody does sneakers
Everyone.
these days. The Montclair sneakers, I'm hyped about those.
Those look good.
Nate Van Hook, former Nike designer.
I saw
They look
people
good.
throwing darts
What?
at. They're like, oh, I guess everyone wants to rip off Solomon nowadays.
People feel like the Montclair Trail Grip shoe is a Solomon ripoff.
Yep.
I can see the similarity in that, but I don't feel like ripoff is a little strong to me.
And Nigel Sylvester, who was on this podcast, signed a deal with Montclair.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm hoping to talk to Nate Van Hook about his role as the new head of footwear at Montclair. Let's see if we can push that
Right,
interview
put him right
through.
there. We got
Montclair
room.
also purchased Stone Island.
Come on.
a few years ago.
Plenty to talk about. Always plenty to
I
talk
like
about
those
on
shoes.
here.
They look good.
Best.
Oh, can we talk ripoffs real quick? Sorry.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry to
yeah.
interrupt you because there was a big ripoff that we need to address.
Go for it.
England women's national soccer team
Oh, wait.
ripping off Drip Flipper Skip.
Oh,
Oh,
I
I
didn't see
saw
that.
that.
I
Did
didn't
y'all
see
see
that.
that?
I didn't see that. I thought you were talking about. Someone said that Joey Badass ripped off the Complex Sneakers podcast.
Oh wow!
Oh, yeah,
I heard
they
that.
have the same drum
I heard
track.
that. I heard that.
Whatever
Yeah.
stock drums those are.
I heard that. He didn't rip it off
It's
though.
on
He
the
just
album.
he
Yeah.
I know.
sampled it. We were using it wrong. He said.
Made it a hot line.
Yeah.
Made it a hot
It does
song?
sound
I didn't
similar.
know. I didn't know what it was.
It sounds
'cause
like the same track.
It does.
Someone had like tweeted, and I was just like, "Wait, why
Yeah,
do you
what-
randomly
yeah.
want me to listen
Yeah.
to?" I thought it was just a song that they liked, and like, "Hey,
I played it
but then
too.
when I clicked it, and I was like, "Wait, no, this."
I played it too. We gotta find. We gotta find what that is.
We may get the opportunity to talk to Joey Badass soon, so hopefully we can figure it out then.
Ooh.
But more important to
Okay,
me
bring this
is
up.
the fact that 2 members of the England women's national soccer team have a YouTube video up. I don't know who produced the video. It's obviously
is it officially through?
I couldn't tell. I think it's officially through the team.
Okay,
And of course, usually the talent doesn't come up with the ideas, so I'm
for
not
sure,
putting
for
it
sure.
on these 2
I
players.
get
but
what you're saying.
somebody who works for that organization had the idea of having these 2 people sit down together and look at photos of their old fits and play a game called Drip or Skip. and rate each fit.
Wow, is
and
that
decide whether each one was a drip or a skip.
You know what's funny is so in the past, I feel like we've brought this up before, where like people have clearly like ripped it off.
Rachel Nichols.
Yeah,
And look what happened to her.
Wow. People, we've brought it up in the past, and I don't even know if it was just her shows specific, but
The Jump, I think it was called.
yeah. But you know, there's like other blogs or sneaker sites or whatever. I totally forget who, so I don't like.
Wait, people rip off shows?
No. Oh, yeah, exactly. But like people, like we're like bigger accounts will like tweet out something like drip, flip, or skip,
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, that's kind of like our thing,
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, because you're the one who came up with that. I'm like, well, actually, I did.
Did you come up with that?
Yes.
I'm not.
Welty
I
did.
didn't.
He did?
I didn't.
Yes,
I didn't mean. To,
Wow.
I didn't.
No,
mean,
but he did.
But I didn't mean to say it in that sense. I meant us per se.
No, but-
I did come up with it,
Yes,
but it
100%.
wasn't. But it wasn't. Sorry, I didn't mean.
No.
But I meant, like-
I'm genuinely wondering.
Yeah, we were just sitting in a conference room one day, and they were trying to come up with segment. This was before.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It was Brendan. We were sitting in the old library.
Yep.
Upstairs.
Yep.
I was there 2
Yeah.
days ago.
Haven't been there in a while, and this was
Some
like we're
classics
just
in
coming
there.
up with ideas, and I was like,
Just a
look,
think tank, and there you go, just shooting the
look,
ideas.
Look, if we want to talk about other sneaker websites ripping us off, we could just go for 50 minutes straight here.
But I had put out that like, oh, like people are like, oh, why are you upset about like other people copying this? It's not like you came up with this, or this isn't an original idea.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, putting these three words together in the sneaker space, and then having other people like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe this is not a ripoff, but I want to speak more to Welty's influence because I feel like today is a big day.
Tell me about it.
Last week on
You
here.
threw out your Panda Dunks?
No.
Okay.
Last week on here, we discussed how validated Welty feels now that these suede Adidas that he's liked for so long are starting to pop off.
Did someone wear them?
What did I see on Instagram
I
this
saw that
morning?
too. Hold
when
on,
I
hold
woke
on.
up, the
Let me-
fucking influence.
Yeah,
wow.
hold on. Did you see it?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
You don't know what I'm talking about?
Wait,
No, I
do.
don't. So
Hold
you're
on, let me think.
you're actually catching me off guard right now.
Wait, I know
love
exactly
this.
what you're talking about.
Somebody
it was when I
stepped
woke
out
up.
in a style of sneakers that Welty
Who
quite
was it?
loves, a pair of Spezials.
Rihanna?
Rihanna stepped out in the
It was
Spezials.
Rihanna.
Matt Welty's influence.
Wait,
You
really?
didn't see it?
Yes,
Oh,
Rihanna. Look at Gary Aspen's
Gary
IG.
Aspen. Gary Aspen,
who was
Instagram
on this podcast.
Look at it. Go.
Come on, man.
He's not going to archive it. It'll still
Come
be there.
on, man.
Look, yeah. I saw the same thing when I woke up.
This is paying off.
He
All
dropped
your
you-
hard work.
He dropped you a tag or no?
No.
Yeah, I saw that.
Hi,
Though.
Rihanna. Well, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Congrats.
She's wearing the Lotherton.
Isn't it
Gore-Tex.
Lothertex or
There's
something?
a shoe called the Lotherton, and then there's the Gore-Tex. Yeah.
Right.
Look at
Anyways,
you.
that's funny with Rocky wearing
Solomon's.
Solomon.
Now, when you see Rihanna step out in them, do you feel like you just like? Do you want the credit, or you're just happy to see it? Are you mad at Rihanna?
I'm
No.
I'm not that.
I'm totally kidding.
I am not that crazy.
I'm totally kidding.
I think one of the funnier moments too. I don't remember if we
What?
talked.
You said I'm not
if we
that
talked
crazy?
to. If we talked.
Well, you
No,
weren't
no.
sure, right?
No. I'm not, dude. I'm not.
No.
I'll make things sometimes that people are like, oh, the way your brain works is kind of weird, but I'm not like that delusional to think.
All
things.
in jest.
I don't know if
Mostly.
we remember talking to Gary about it, but one of the funnier things is he had like, because he obviously has like a huge Rolodex, given that he used to be like the head of like entertainment marketing
Yeah.
at Adidas in like the late 90s, early 2000s. So it's like a lot of like bigger name celebs that you may not have access to nowadays that you're like surprised by. And he had seated, I believe, Naomi Campbell with a pair of shoes. And like obviously like his PR person or whatever, his assistant like sends the shoes to Naomi Campbell being like, hey, here's the shoes. If you could thank Gary, it would be like really nice, right? They like
By the way, you're getting these before Matt Welty. So.
yeah. So she copy and pasted.
I remember this.
That happens. That happened a lot.
But I think, because
That
it's
happened a
because
lot.
it's Naomi Campbell though.
Yeah.
In like the way that England works, like the tabloids there are way more aggressive than they are in the U.S.
Yeah.
They like made a big story about like Naomi Campbell like accidentally like posting the wrong like Instagram caption, and it's like Gary Aston.
Yeah,
like,
we've been there before.
seating her.
it happens.
I've made stories out of less. Former Nike employee likes Adidas employee's Instagram post.
Wait, you've done that?
No. I mean, I've done things like that. That's an exaggeration.
What would you say if, like, looking back?
Okay.
No, looking back, and there's nothing that's popping
Yeah.
to mind, but like the one story that you were like, not like it was a stretch, but like maybe that like you're like, oh, I was kind of crazy for that.
Wait, a stretch or like this isn't?
Doesn't sound like me
You
right
always
off
get,
the top.
You
No.
always get the comments. How is this news like that? Or
I
like,
wouldn't
no.
say it's news, but it's like you're saying, like
Yeah.
it's like you kind of like made like a mountain out of a molehill, or like something that like you kind of put a piece together to kind of like get it out there, but it really wasn't.
I'm this is not me trying to like avoid the question. I'm just trying to be honest and think about it. I mean, I remember more stuff of people being like, how the hell is this a story of like
They
Drake,
say that all the
Drake
time.
posting like himself on Instagram and people are tying his shoes for him and him
Oh,
saying,
yeah, I remember-
I can't tie shoes, and
I remember
my boss at the time telling me we should write a post about how Drake can't tie his own shoes.
I remember when I was like an intern, and this was like on the weekend, so like you wouldn't have like an editor around. You had to like self-publish, and you'd always get like, this is when I was still an intern, so you're a little worried that like if you're gonna post something that like someone's like, why is this a news story or something? That
of
all
course.
it takes is for back in those days for you to read something that I had posted or like Noah or someone and like be like, what is this? You know, and then
He put it on you.
No, but that stuff, I mean, it's quality control. You know, it would just happen back in the day where someone in the company higher up would see something that maybe you'd post and be like, why did we post this?
Really? I think it happened more with commenters than internally.
I don't know. You
Is
just
there one that sticks
I
out?
don't know. No, but the one that I was like, I posted it and I was like, fingers crossed that like nobody like gets mad about this. It was when Anchorman 2 was coming out. Which,
Oh,
remember,
this was a thing.
when Kanye was the thing, but Drake had posted, and this was back when we just used to post random things that people posted on Instagram.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Drake had
Fine era, by the way.
And Drake had posted the Sex Panther cologne on his Instagram. I don't know if you've seen Anchorman. The Sex Panther cologne. They spray it and they had to air out the thing, and he posted. And I posted like, I forget. I need to find the story because I'm like, why
I
did
was
I
really captivated, and then you just forgot it.
He didn't forget it. It's just some of the details.
No, it was just so stupid. I'm like, why is this news? Like, why is Drake posting Sex Panther cologne on Instagram like a complex style story? It's so stupid.
Got it. Yeah, it was an era of that.
a different era.
Different era. It's still, but like the cusp of is this new? Like, is this news or is this like internet fodder?
Yeah.
It's
Fine
sold.
line.
It's sold. I can't even find it.
That's okay.
Got some annoying DMs this weekend.
About what?
The classic give me so I have to mention a couple of these. I feel like we could do a segment just off the absurd DMs we get. So one is just a guy who I've never talked to, so it's like in my request folder, and he has 357 followers, 16,000 Instagram posts.
Whoa.
It's a private account, and he just says he doesn't even follow me. He says I need a size 9.
In what?
That's all he said. Okay, this other one.
Jeez.
This will pay off. July 2020, this kid writes me. He goes, "Hello, Mr. Brendan. I'm Levon from Georgia, country. I'm 17 years old. Please send me sneakers for just my love for sneakers. I can't afford one, but I will when I will be older. Please, what I need to do for you is to send me a pair of sneakers. P.S. Sorry for my English. Love your mustache." And I said, "We'll think of it." 2 years later, almost to the day, he hits me and he goes,
"Have you thought about it?"
He goes, "Yo, I'm 19 now. You could just say no, bro. I was really waiting for it."
Wow.
Like this kid in Georgia
Wow.
for the past 2 years has been like waiting for my response
Wow.
or waiting for a package in the mail.
You gotta send him some.
Do I?
You know.
Should I send
but
him a pair of shoes? Well,
that would be a
I
nice
should?
story.
that'd be a news story.
A nice story.
Well, there was
Or that guy who.
there was the instance. Can we tell a story about the kid in Brazil?
Yeah, just don't mention what shoe it was.
Oh, okay. Brendan had gotten one of those DMs and
Yeah.
felt actual generous to send something.
Which
and you
I often have. Don't ask me for shoes.
not going to
Don't-
say
this
the
is not
shoe
permission.
because
Do
it's
not
gonna,
ask me for
'cause
shoes.
it's going to blow up a plug or whatever,
Yeah.
but sent out a very nice pair of sneakers at the time that I would say became considerably more coveted years after
Okay.
you had
Yeah.
done it than it was at the moment. And I think the shoes you'd maybe had worn like once or something like that.
Sure.
So whatever, but they weren't like cooked or anything. It wasn't like you being rude saying the guy had worn a pair
Never.
of shoes.
I would never be rude.
You do that, and then you get a message from the kid. He sent it to Brazil, and the kid was like, "Hey man, like I live in like the favelas in Brazil. Obviously, super like impoverished area.
Yeah.
The taxes for this are like $300 or something. For
The
me to-"
customs for the shoes to enter the
He's
country.
like, I can't afford them. Thanks for sending them anyways. Or
And what'd you do?
the shoes bounced back, and I still have them to this day. Maybe I'll send those to the kid in Georgia and see how he fares with them.
They make it.
I waited for 2 years, bro.
Is it like one of those original like chain letters?
Yeah, exactly. Or how about this DM I showed you guys where some dude again that I've never heard of was like, I work for Louis Vuitton and Nike. I can help you get these shoes.
Did you follow up on that?
No, it seemed super scammy.
But what if he does?
Dude,
What if it's the one that like that's the fish that got away?
no. I don't think so. Not in my
Your
opinion.
DM's popping.
Too poppin'.
Speaking of shoes,
Speaking of shoes,
you want to give some away?
it's time.
We should. Every week here on the Complex Sneakers Podcast, we give away a pair of sneakers in partnership with our good friends at eBay Sneakers. You can go to ebay.complex.com to enter the giveaway. You can submit a question there. If we pick out your question, if we respond to your question here on the air, we're going to send you a free pair of sneakers courtesy of eBay and their Authenticity Guarantee program. If you live in Georgia, the state, you can participate. If you live in Georgia, the country, you can't participate because it's only open to U.S. residents. Welty?
We have no love for the Caucasus. I'm totally kidding.
Welty, you're giving away the shoes?
What do we got?
Yeah, these
have
were
no idea
shoes.
what
These were
sneaker we're
actually
giving away.
shoes that I tried to give away in the past, and for whatever reason, I was told that they weren't available.
Okay, but we found a pair.
We found a pair.
The box is looking a little beat. Is this something
yeah.
a little older?
No, I don't know why the box. I think this size right here is a little smaller.
Okay, we're giving away a bigger size, I think.
Yes.
Love this shoe.
I got it. sorry. I didn't mean it.
So these are the
Home team, yeah.
These are the Kith 992s, steel blue. I believe these came out in like a pack or whatever. Not you didn't buy both shoes, but with the 998. I think Ronnie, as they do, they have like a Kith like early access program or the Kith customer loyalty or something like that, where people could buy them early or something like that. And then the shoe came out like right when the 992 like right took off.
Yeah, it
And
was a fun time.
And I believe these were just pretty limited because it wasn't like meant to be a huge
Yeah, they weren't available anywhere.
release. So like the value on them shot up. I mean, as we had Ronnie on the show, he's told about his love for this colorway.
And he's got a long history of doing that. You know, remember how cool it was when he did the steel blue New Balance 999s.
Yeah, I think like when you talk about the 992s from that little moment a couple years ago, this one's maybe not one of the more talked about ones.
Yeah.
But I would just say like compare, like put them down a line.
Yeah.
This is one of the best looking out of the
Yes,
bunch.
those are very good. Who are we giving these away to?
We are giving these away to David Hong from Queens. So just,
wow.
yeah,
Very
you gotta
appropriate.
go. After this,
He lives closer.
all right, one of you guys got to go. Take the what F uptown?
yeah, we could do that.
No, seriously, you're going. Imagine. David asks, have you ever worn a sneaker that was obviously too big or too small for you?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have an answer for this really. However,
Welty?
he has the answer for me because he claimed that I do that.
Which shoe?
I think so. There's certain shoes that like run. You know, they'll run like in a different size.
Yeah.
All of like Air Force Ones or whatever.
Yeah. Buy your Air Force Ones half a size
Me and
down.
Joe wear like a kind of similar size.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like an 11. He's 11 and a half. But like if you wear like New Balance, you kind of gotta. I can wear an 11 and a half too, but you got to size down or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think when New Balance started popping up, he's like, oh, I'm 11 and a half. So I got him like 11 and a half and like a 990 or something like that.
I'm trying to help him out.
But you said
see,
that
you see, I remember like see him walk around in them and the shoes are
He's
kind of
noticeably
around.
he
But
said
you're also a guy who doesn't tie your shoes.
that's true.
So if the
Just
shoes
like Drake.
So if the shoe's a little big, it's a little obvious, a little more obvious that like.
So you would just see me stomping around the office like, yo, those don't fit.
Yeah.
All right, Mark
Did you
Godfrey
let him
over
know?
here. Fucking not even letting me know. But yeah, I was like, I don't have
But
an answer.
isn't that awkward to tell someone like, hey man, I think you bought like to tell someone, hey man, I think you have the wrong size in your shoes.
I would
think
never
it's,
do that.
I think it's also to your point, me not tying them. You can't. I couldn't even really tell. I walk around with everyone's always like, your laces, your
Well, now
laces.
you know.
But like now I know.
There's definitely a lot of people out there who wear the wrong shoe size.
Yes, I think so.
There's
I
some-
might be one of them.
And there's some people, you know, who overshoot or they've always like, you know, when you're a kid, you want to wear a bigger
course.
shoe.
Yeah.
So
course.
in your head, you always thought you were like a size 12 or something like that. And it turns out you're really a 10 and a half. But
Yeah.
all these years you've been wearing a size 12.
Lloyd Banks said that
Yeah.
he
Banks,
was wearing
yep.
the wrong shoe size for years.
But he said that he thought he was an 11 and a half and he was actually a 13.
Right.
That's different than I feel like overshooting.
Yes, for sure.
it. So then you see people like walking around in shoes that are just like.
Yeah, I didn't do it, but I remember like looking at Tiffany Dunks in like 11 and a half, 12, 11, and then maybe looking at a 10 and a half.
Really? You
Never
were going to
did
squeeze
it.
into a 10 and a half?
I was just like, it was just like, oh, 10 and a half, you know, like, which is, I never did it, but
you got a pair in your size now.
got a pair of my size.
Good.
You have specific shoes though, don't you?
Welty?
You
Well,
guys?
these, I will say, I love these shoes. We can talk about what we're wearing in a minute, but shout out Kerwin.
What is the model called?
The micro bounce.
Okay.
These are 11. I wear an 11, but I put them on this morning and I'm like, ooh, little
Tight?
tight, a little tight.
Maybe you stretch them out.
But they're like to the point where you're like, oh, I don't know if I can
Oh.
get through the day, you know?
Well, we hope you make it through the day.
Yeah.
I know. Let us know.
The other story I have, and this was one of the most foolish things I feel like I've ever done.
Okay.
Oh.
I mean, it turned out good in the end. This is Brendan Dunne involved.
Okay.
I
like
had
this.
done, I think when the original Human Race shoes had come out.
Do you know it?
Yeah. Yeah, I do know it.
That evil laugh.
So I think
Yeah.
it wasn't the yellow ones, I don't think, but it was like the red.
I thought it was a black and yellow.
There was a black and yellow, but there was also a red one, I think,
Okay.
too. I think he had done like, it was like a Native American inspired collection or
I
something.
remember that.
Or something to that degree. But they had sent, we had done an original story on them. They want to give us the exclusives. They had sent me all 3 of the shoes, and I don't think they asked for them back. So I have all 3 of the Pharrell NMDs. And
First ones.
yeah, and they hadn't really I didn't know how well they were gonna do, and they hadn't taken off yet. And this is like, I still love the shoes. This was when I was super into like flat-soled Adidas, and Brendan Dunne had the sneakers and stuff, Stockholm, Gore-Tex.
Yeah, GTX, yeah.
And I really wanted them because Adidas Stockholm's like a legendary shoe within that whole scene, but S&S had done their own version of it. I really wanted them, and they were
big Welty shoe, especially
they were
at that
10
time.
and a half, and like they clearly didn't fit me. And I really wanted the shoes. I probably could have gone online and bought them. It was stupid. Brendan's like, Welty, I'll trade you this, and he didn't dupe me into it. I was
Thank
just
you. Thank you.
I just wanted the shoes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, I'll give you these for those.
Yeah.
And I gave him a pair of the Pharrell
Traded me.
It happens to the best of us.
NMDs. And I believe you went to Flight Club and cashed them out for like a stack.
I don't know about that.
You know, kids used to do that when I used to trade cards in the neighborhood. Some of my OGs, Billy Parker, love him to this day. We were trading cards, always robbed me.
Really?
Yeah.
One of my best friends, actually, who I recently mentioned on here, Adam Holbert, who had the pair of green Tokyo SB Dunks with the spiders in them, he still remembers when I traded him for some Pokemon cards. And what?
Wait, hold on.
What did you say? You said Squizzard?
No, wait, what's it called?
Squizzard's
Squirtle?
not real.
Squirtle.
Charizard?
Charizard.
I think there was a Beedrill and a Charmeleon involved.
Charizard. You trade him a Charizard for
Rhymes with Marzyard.
Anyways,
So he got you on the deal.
I'm totally derailing your story.
no, it's
Carry
fine.
on.
I got
did
the
it.
shoes, and then just, of course, they were too small for me.
Yeah.
My friend Lucas, who I used to go to the Red Bull games with, who was like super into clothes and Adidas and whatnot, who
Yeah.
had like given me some like, I don't know if he had given me anything at the time, but he ended up giving me like a jacket or something like that, like in after. So
Yeah.
I wasn't doing it to get anything from him, but just as like a token of
And nor was I from you.
no,
Okay.
just as like a token of like friendship or whatever. I ended up giving him the shoes because he wore like a 10, and he's like, they fit. So I didn't even.
You didn't even get anything from
I
the
didn't even
damn
get
thing.
anything.
You and Lucas were
Selfless.
you and Lucas were working out. He was at Cipriani just
Oh, my God.
spending.
Or that's how Brendan funded one of his many jet setting trips.
I have no specific recollection of a shoe that I wore that was way off my size, but I've definitely crammed my feet into stuff that was not meant for them.
Like
And
what?
I feel like sometimes Hirachi lights where I'll have like
Hirachis in general.
Tough to get on.
Yeah.
I got the OG, the Scream Green ones, and I bought like an 11 and a half, and that
was like you need a whole size up.
it was like tourniquets on your
You know,
ankle.
Yeah.
to that point, I was wearing these black. You remember the black, lime green, and like pink? They had a little Hirachis.
No, I don't remember that.
It was like, we'll put the image, but like maybe like 6 years ago. So tough to get on to
Yeah.
that point. I like tried to put it on through the tab. The whole tab ripped.
Ripped?
Yeah, that's how
Wow.
like. Sorry, go ahead though.
No. Yeah, I've definitely had the identity crisis sometimes of being like, am I actually a 10.5? Am I a 10? And one of our old coworkers was like, you need to just.
He said you're a 10. Brennan Dunne, you're not a 10.5.
Like, you're fooling yourself.
I think in the past when people have asked for our shoe sizes or whatever, I think I've just told people that you're a 10 because I think you're a 10.
We should just bust out the Brannock device right here on the show one day.
I'll do it.
Yeah, you would Brannock me? Not Welty? You don't think he's more experienced? People
So
know what
I
a
was
Brannock
good with- I
device
was
is,
good with-
right?
listen,
Can you explain what the
I feel
Brannock
like
I was
device
good with
is?
the Brannock, but
Hold
when they
up. Tell the people what the Brannock
the
device
Brannock
is.
device is what you used to measure feet, and a lot of times when people when moms and dads came into finish line, it was always when you grew up. Not a lot of people were like when you got older. Not a lot of people were like, "Can you measure my foot?" But moms and dads were like, "Can you measure him or hers feet?" So we would always measure a lot on the Brannock device. Where it got a little tricky for me is I never really understood the wide thing.
Well,
So
I mean,
people
you
would be
don't-
like, "Yeah," but people would be
You
like,
don't
"I have
need
a
it.
wide foot. What width do I need?" And I'd be like,
Well,
2E."
Did you make good use of the Brannock
Well, the
device?
Brannock device, I feel like it would also like cause like arguments
Uh-oh.
with like the customers a little bit sometimes because you measure someone's foot
And tell them, and
like
they'd be
and
like,
you'd be
you're
like,
wrong.
hey, you're a 10.5, and they didn't want to hear that they were a 10.5. They wanted to be like an 11.5, and like they're like, or you'd ask what you measured the kid's size, and like they would measure a 10, and the thing, and you're like, look, I'm just gonna tell this person that like
You're
hey,
going to lie
like,
to them?
no, be like, hey, like,
Confirm the thing that they want to hear?
you're a 10.5 because your mom's gonna want extra room in the shoe. Even
You
though
were
it's-
telling the
it's-
kid that?
No.
Oh.
But like in my head, I'm like, I don't want to like get into the whole argument of like, okay, here's your size, and then we bring them out, and then they're not their size. So then I have to go back, and it causes this whole just like complication of the sale process where I'm like, hey, you know what? I think you're a 10.5, and you bring out the 10.5, even though they measured like a 9.5, 10 on the thing, and then they try the shoes on. Hey, these feel great. So maybe I like contributed to
Maybe
to
because
people not knowing their shoe size over the years.
Damn.
I had
But
a different
Some
approach.
podiatrists would like to
But
talk
I
to you.
had too many experiences of telling people their actual shoe size, and they had like this much room in the end, which you're supposed to be like, no, I want my shoes to fit way bigger than that. Okay, I can't.
The customer's always right.
Yeah.
I had a different approach. I would say, yes, we will measure your foot. I'll measure it twice if you would like. Also, if there's some room in it, and you're looking for added comfort, we have these. We have these insoles. We have these insoles. Feel free to walk or a light jog around the store.
They're going to jog around the store, really?
Yeah, you could have. Yeah, just the wood floor.
And sometimes that would be the thing that helped convince them
That's it.
to make the purchase. Who are we giving the shoes to?
David Hong.
David Hung, you got some good shoes on your way.
Hopefully they're your size. Bust out the Brannock device to check.
We need to bring it. We'll put it there.
I really want to do that. Can we do that next week?
Yeah.
Brannock. Where are we gonna get a Brannock device from?
Steal it from Foot Locker. Yeah, Welty was thinking the same exact thing.
Yeah. I have no qualms about that.
It's a good weekend mission for you.
Yeah, go steal a Brannock.
Dude, please go steal. Would you steal one from Foot Locker?
Imagine if like you steal it, but with like everything that's going on, you like bring monkeypox to the studio.
What? Wait, where did that come from?
People's feet get put
Oh,
on
is
there,
that? Oh,
We might have to put a CDC warning on this episode.
just get a ruler.
Speaking of stealing and ripping things off, as we were a little bit earlier, we got to talk about this Kanye thing, right?
We're
Oh,
gonna
I thought you were
we gotta
going
talk about what
somewhere
shoes
else.
we're wearing.
Oh, I'm
first.
sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I was getting too excited because I felt like we had the
Yeah.
perfect seg. I'm sorry. Welty.
Well, these are the Kerwin Frost Adidas Microbounce.
His latest.
Yep. Shout out Kerwin.
CDG Air Sunder Max. A lot of white on the shoe.
Not too much white?
There
Not
may
too much.
there may be another color on it other than white coming soon.
There might. Our boy Tyler hit me up today and was like, "Don't lie to me.
Tyler Mansour said
Is
that.
there a pair that's potentially sitting in?"
Oh wow! Look, there's a
What?
Brannock device.
Oh my God. Oh
Whoa.
my God. Wow.
Where-
Thank you, Octavia. This is incredible. Okay. So,
What are we doing?
wow.
I think
One
this
of
was
our
part- I think
beloved
this was
crew
part of
members.
The original full size run set.
This is so great. One of our beloved crew members here. Thank you, Octavia.
Shouts to Octavia.
As Joe was talking, walked in the room and handed me a Brannock device, a genuine Brannock device
we
from
gonna do it?
Syracuse, New York. We have to measure it, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Should
Whose
we?
feet are we measuring?
We should we all do it just to? We should all go through with this, right?
Go.
Okay. Do you want to? Is
Sorry
somebody
to
gonna
the-
Do the honors?
Sorry
Yeah,
to
you
the
want-
Do you want me to
audio.
get down on one knee and take
Sorry
your shoe off?
Sorry to the audio listeners. If you're on YouTube,
yeah, turn
check
this
it
shit
out.
up. Okay. So, Welty, will you do it for me or should I?
All right.
Okay.
Let me
Okay.
make
Okay.
sure.
This is Welty making. This is a real moment of truth right here. Here, I'll step out here.
So
Okay, so this is Welty measuring my.
that you need to turn it.
Turn it. You
So-
turn it. You're the Foot Locker guy.
So right heel.
Want me to do it?
Right heel.
Okay.
Put it down.
My right heel in the
Yeah.
Brannock
Make
Device.
sure it's all the way back.
Yeah.
And then like lean forward.
Wait, can I do mine too?
Yeah, we're gonna all do it for sure.
You're a 10.
No, no.
You're not even close. You're not even close. You're not even to the 10
bet I'm
line.
11
You're
and a
definitely
half.
not a 10 and a half.
All right, that's
He's
okay.
a 10.
Wait, let's try the other. We have to try the other foot, right?
Measure the other foot. There's always
okay.
a slight difference.
I know there's a slight difference between my feet. Is this the moment? This is devastating. I have to get rid of like 90% of my shoes.
Wow, it feels so
And for
good
the
and
record,
just
sneaker-
sucks.
For the record-
Remember the headline? This is sneaker expert Brennan
Exposed.
Dunne doesn't know his own shoe size.
Feels so good.
For the record, I know. The socks feels great.
Yep.
For the record, I always wanted to be, not always, but I wanted to be a 10 because I like to wear a smaller shoe because in my mind, I don't
looks
like a
sleeker
big,
on your foot, yeah.
even though nobody can tell. Okay.
Yeah, dude,
10.
that
You're
one's
a 10.
even smaller than the other one.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, well,
My turn.
there it is.
Yeah.
I bet I'm
What
11
size
and
are
a
these?
half.
These better be a fucking 10 that I'm wearing right now. Oh my God.
All right. Oh, wrong side. Joe, come on. Left heel.
A little rusty.
Wow, he was
little
talking like
rusty.
he was a big
little,
time
no,
customer
little
service
rusty.
expert.
Hold on.
Oh my God. Wow. Who knew?
11 and a half, 12, right?
Yeah, that one. And then measure your other. Oh, come on, you gotta spin it, man.
He said you got a what?
So rusty.
So you think Welty? Oh no, let's finish Joe's.
11 and a half, 12.
Yeah, actually.
You
All
couldn't
right.
lie to me like you did the little kids in the store, man.
My feet, this is actually really weird. I think I've mentioned this before.
Wait,
Wait,
what
so
size
not
is-
an 11 though, right? But Air Force Ones, I feel like New Balance.
You have shoes you have to size down in.
Okay, cool.
This is incredible content.
So my feet are completely different sizes.
Okay.
You'll
You're
see.
expecting a half size difference?
No, like a whole size.
Okay, well.
I have really weird feet. So,
so
this
hungry.
one is like a 10 and a half.
Just like me.
Okay.
Fellow size.
No,
10 and a half.
no. You were so.
Yeah,
your
yeah.
foot was almost
Yeah,
like a
he's
9.
still
and-
pushing
your-
that narrative.
Your foot was like a 9.5, 10 on one of
He's
them.
downgrading me to 9.5?
It was below.
Wow, 9 and a half. No.
crazy, right?
Anyway, so my right foot is like a 10 and a half,
Maybe I just
maybe an 11.
Okay.
And my left foot is clearly over the size 12.
Okay. So you just
I have a-
average.
Okay.
No, I have a size and a half difference between my two
But
feet.
do you just split the difference?
I usually just wear one's it's snug on my left foot
Yeah.
and it fits right on my other one because if it's if I buy for my left foot,
Yeah.
my right foot is falling out of my shoe all day.
Wow, this is revealing.
You all right?
It's like you took like a 23andMe or something like that. And your,
Right.
your whole life has been
My
like
whole identity is in question
you're
right
not
now.
Irish.
Oh my! Nobody could ever say that. Wow. So you think that I should just be buying 10s?
Yes. One of them, I think it was your left foot, was like a 9.5.
No. What was that?
All right, don't push it. Wow. Damn.
Thank you to Octavia for the Brannock device, and also AJ. AJ the gaffer actually had the Brannock device laying around. So,
Always holding us down.
I don't know if thank you is correct because it's really turned my world upside down, but we do appreciate it. What should I do with all these shoes I have?
Actually, you just.
I mean, you should probably send them to kids in Georgia, right?
There's the whole country of Georgia.
point.
There's a big bundle of 10 and a halfs coming your way. Where were we?
It's funny you say that. Our friend Tyler,
Uh-huh.
Arab Lincoln on Instagram, said to me, "Don't lie to me. Is there a pair of Thunder Maxes right now sitting in dye
Well, I think
in Loren's studio?" And I was like, "I won't lie to you. There are." So we'll reveal.
I think Lorenzo had posted
he did one.
on IG that like a dyed version of it. And you know what? In recent times, there's been a lot of like high profile collabs that have gotten that sort of dye treatment that I thought the shoe was whack when I first saw it.
But once
And-
you saw somebody dye it.
yeah, well, I didn't think that shoe was whack, but when I saw it got dyed, I was like, oh wow, that looks like way better. Also, the original white pair of the off-white Prestos,
Yep.
that was another shoe that got the dye treatment.
Yes, those look, yeah.
Heavy. And the other one was the white Levi's Air Jordan 4s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a big one. People were
Yeah.
dying those crazy.
But you were thinking in the back of your head, was this the intention all along?
right. Did they want this to happen?
Like they're
or
like,
was this
oh,
just like an
we
accidental side
we
effect?
made a super boring shoe, but the intention was just like that people were going to do something to it.
Yeah, or Stussy.
Oh, Stussy
Stussy
with
had a
the
bunch of those recently, right?
Spirit on.
Yeah, and then the Air Force Ones after that.
Yeah, I
How
got
do you-
the denim
They
ones.
released
The blue
the
denim.
natural, the
Yeah,
dyed ones.
Tokyos.
How do we feel about those Stussy Air Max 2013s. Very like
favorites.
surprising collab.
Doesn't
the
need
pink
to
ones
exist.
and the
Just doesn't need to exist. Like, who cares about? Oh, sorry.
Oh, we didn't get into your. Sorry.
yeah.
Oh, well, we got into my shoes in
Yeah.
a very literal way. I am wearing the New Balance 1300 JP. once
Not
every
to be
5 years.
confused with the.
Right. With the
There's
shoes
a
we
difference
just give away.
between the.
CL
Yes.
and the JP. These come out once every 5 years. Special shoe. I've worn them on here before, and I hope they're a size 10, because if not,
Your whole life is a lie, bro.
Joe, I randomly would have thought that you would have been into the black Stussy Air Max 2013s. Like, I could picture you wearing that with like Nike track pants or something like that.
I don't think so.
it's just like, who cares about that shoe?
You can't picture him, Joe, wearing that?
I agree. I'm with you on that. The pink
Maybe.
one's kind of cool.
Maybe, yeah. On second.
Upon further review, I will be buying this shoe.
So listen, we got detoured a little bit, but
I mean, I'm trying so hard to even focus right now.
I know we got
because my whole
detoured a little bit.
perspective is shifted.
There's some news topics we got to get into.
Yes. Kanye
For some
West.
context, before we came, right before we sat in these seats, I would say 15 minutes, Kanye West he DM'd Complex's main Instagram. Do you want to read the?
Yeah. This is, and
And
we're
it's
recording
happening
this
on Yeezy Day.
Yeezy Day, right? Which is
restock?
fake, not even like fake corporate holiday on the level of Air Max Day, but a day where they're releasing a bunch of Yeezy sneakers.
Where did it derive from?
Well, people just saw that shoes were going to pop up, and that they
Someone
all
dubbed it, or
coalesced
okay.
onto this
And
day.
I also think it's, and I don't know this for a fact, but it seems like maybe like Adidas, because Adidas tried to do like the Boost Day,
Right,
And
that was about to
it
be a
didn't really
thing.
like
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
any sort of like reverence to it.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then I think it all maybe stemmed from them doing that the white 350 like restock that one time.
That
where
was
they're,
a
like,
huge one.
Where they're like, everyone who wants the shoe will get the shoe because they made like 1 million plus pairs of it.
Yeah.
And it felt like ever since then they've slowly been trying to create situations where consumers can actually buy Yeezys, right?
Yeah. So they have this whole huge day where a bunch of Yeezy styles are releasing. As Joe mentioned, Kanye West DM'd Complex with the long message, and I'm just going to read the whole thing because we
for it.
need the whole thing.
Yep.
He says, Adidas made up the Yeezy Day idea without my approval, then went and brought back older styles without my approval, picked colors and named them without my approval, went and hired people that worked for me without my approval, stole my colorways without my approval, stole my styles and material approaches without my approval, went and hired a GM of Yeezy without my approval, took talent on the production side and sprinkled them throughout Adidas Originals without my approval. Even though they did a Balenciaga collaboration, they completely slowed down production on the shoes me and Demna developed for Gap by trying to bully Gap, even though my contract states I can do casual shoes, which I was doing when I did fashion shows. When I originally ordered Adidas to make more Yeezy slides, the GM lied to my face and said they didn't have the capacity. Meanwhile, Adidas was copying my slides and making their own version of the Yeezy slide. Yeezy is 68% of Adidas online sales. God, step in.
Couple questions here.
Many.
Many questions. Do we know who the GM?
Who's he referring to?
The other thing is name them without my approval. Name
Oh,
the models.
I believe that is, and I forget the exact name of the shoe, but there was that one Adidas Yeezy style that had like an Arabic name or something like that.
Oh, the Azrael and those ones?
Yeah, that like they had to rename due to sensitivities in the Middle Eastern region.
Yeah. A lot of retailers had to pull those, and some were asked to take the labels off of the boxes. I wrote a quick story about that.
I
when it
don't know
happened.
if that's the truth, but that's the one thing that would have popped in my head, that what he was referring to.
Yeah, how about him saying that Yeezy is
68%?
68% of Adidas online sales? That's a huge number.
Are you going to dig into this after the pod, or?
I got a lot of things to dig into. We'll see.
If you had to, we don't know, but do you think that's an accurate number? If you just had to make an educated guess.
It seems like a big percentage.
That's a huge percentage. Do you on everything like?
Well, I mean, when they do drop those shoes, they sell so many units at once that I don't know. And it's like, what else? Obviously, Adidas.
Stan Smith.
No, but I would say
Like,
obviously
stuff like
Adidas
that.
is selling stuff online. It's
Yeah.
not like Adidas doesn't sell anything. You know what I mean? Like to think that Adidas, like
That's huge volume, 68%.
the thing that Adidas. I'm not saying that Adidas is super hot right now or whatever, but to
Maybe
think,
the opposite,
yeah. But to think that Adidas,
other than Rihanna. Sorry.
the thing that Adidas doesn't like have sales online
yeah.
is like, I mean, they're obviously selling like soccer jerseys and all that sort of stuff, like whatever.
The slides we know. He's referring to the slides we talked about.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like he's totally justified in feeling like, and I wrote about it already, that
The
they
slides.
ripped off the slides. I think that him saying that Yeezy is such a huge chunk of Adidas online sales kind of confirms the thing that I think we've spoken about on here. And Welty, you and I have talked about it a lot, where it just feels like Adidas has not very interesting product right now, and that Yeezy is the only
it is an
interesting product
issue.
happening there.
I kind of feel the opposite way about the slide situation
Than I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mainly because basically Adidas invented the slide,
Okay.
the Autolet slide, which was created, I believe, in like the 1960s, so the West German soccer team wouldn't get like staph infections in the showers for like the World Cup or something like that. That's where the origin of the slide is. No other brands, at least currently, are making slides that were making them
Back then.
back then.
Yeah. No, none of them had the same history
And
to it.
the Autolet has been the focus of Adidas's, history or line or whatever. And to think that, not that it's Kanye's take on the Autolet, but to see that the Yeezy slide isn't somewhat inspired by Adidas having a history
Sure.
in slides is kind of like,
Short-sighted, you think?
yeah, where it's like, okay, of course the shoe does look, I'm not saying it doesn't, looks a little similar, or at least the color palette of it looks similar to
For sure.
the
What-
Yeezy
what
stuff,
Ye's
but also
doing.
colors are like seasonal now, and it's like
Yeah.
a lot of companies make things in the same colors, whatever. But just to think that like Adidas is going to have this one line that's super successful and like not use any bits of the design.
The one line meaning Yeezy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you look at, and this is the thing that's really shocked me a lot lately. When you go to, and this is different, but when you go to a place like Famous Footwear, you don't realize like how much the brands like knock off
Their own stuff.
their own stuff for like lower price points.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Reebok has a shoe called the Solution,
That
which,
Reebok question knockoff, right?
and I don't know if Allen Iverson's
Wow.
getting,
Yeah.
but every single like cool,
You saw the shoe? You looked it up?
Yeah.
every single cool shoe that a brand
Did you know
has.
this?
Yeah, yeah.
Every single cool shoe that a brand has, you can go to Famous Footwear and there's a knockoff.
Interesting.
There's a knockoff
Take down core
version
performance.
Yep.
of that's like probably somewhere around like $50 or $60. I didn't even realize that
Interesting.
all the signature basketball players, they still have their name on it, have cheap versions of their shoes that are available at Famous Footwear. There's like a Kyrie, LeBron, Giannis shoe that's like not their real sneaker.
Yeah.
That's like made. It's different. It is still branded as
Sure.
a Giannis shoe, but like the idea of taking things and shifting them through price points is nothing new to the footwear industry.
To make them more affordable.
More accessible.
more
or it's
accessible.
like, how many times is like Nike has a shoe like the Roshi,
Yeah.
but there's like cheaper versions. There was even cheaper versions of the Roshi available down the line.
But to me, all that stuff, and we don't have to argue too
Yeah.
much about the slides, but to me, all that stuff is different because Kanye is an outside collaborator and, not just like a designer working for Adidas, like that's where
Do we
it's
consider
different.
Kanye a collaborator at this point?
I mean, collaborator is maybe too small a word,
Okay.
but I just feel like there has to be some approval in these things. Like, this is the point that he hammers on again and again here. I feel like if Kanye and Adidas are to be working together, which is what the long-term partnership between them should be, then they have to better draw these lines around this type of stuff.
I feel like sometimes it's like I get where Kanye is coming from on it. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that he's like out of line for thinking that that Adidas is like taking some of his sauce or whatever. At the same time, it's like tough because it's like also like this is like Adidas is still like the platform that all of Yeezy
That
has
enables it.
that like has been built off of.
Yeah.
So it's like there would be no Yeezy as we know it without Adidas. Like as far as like he still may be able to make footwear.
Sure,
Right.
sure.
But
Right.
I don't think that he would have had this mass thing
The
where
resources
where
and
he's
things like
making
that?
Yeah,
a
yeah,
million
yeah, I agree with
pairs
that.
and
I
like
think
all. It's just so hard to build out. Like
Like if he had signed with Puma instead.
I don't
like,
mean
which
that. I
was-
mean like if he had tried to do this himself.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But
yeah.
he said that in the past he's always said that they really gave me resources and runway to do stuff like that. Infrastructure.
And I'm
exactly.
not saying you need to be like grateful for the brand that's like done all these things like for you, But at some point, it's like you just have to expect that there's going to be like
Friction.
It seems like there's friction though now.
I don't
Oh,
think
yeah.
friction.
like
I don't
besides today. It seems like not that it's been bubbling, but it does seem like they're
It's been
not.
bubbling.
No.
It has.
Yeah.
I didn't mean friction. I meant
Okay, sorry.
The slides, yeah.
No, you'd have to expect that they're like that Yeezy would slowly influence the rest of Adidas or like influence some part of
Yeah.
of the company because not all of Adidas is Yeezy-fied.
True. There's
Although-
plenty of its product
Right.
that his aesthetic hasn't influenced or touched.
But like you'd have to expect to some extent that it's going to at least because I think that Yeezy too has also influenced most of the footwear industry.
Yeah, yeah, this is true. But I could see why the Yeezy Day idea specifically might
Rubs.
be a flashpoint of like, oh, what is this fake thing that I wasn't
Yeah.
involved in?
Yeah.
You're doing a big event, not event, but a big release event around my shoes. And
It's also something I don't know he would. It doesn't scream Kanye West.
right.
You
Yeezy
know,
Oh,
Day,
to do
yeah.
like a
It just doesn't.
to
Yeah.
do a big restock day or like
It doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
fair.
I mean, I'm excited by it. Anytime there's drama like this, and we get to look behind the curtain a little bit, hard figures like the 68% and things like that. Let's go.
This man's day just started. Okay.
I just hope it doesn't end up like Kanye Nike, and how that
Yeah.
flamed out so spectacularly. Like to me, Kanye West and Adidas, Ye and Yeezy and Adidas is an important,
Yeah.
powerful thing that I want to see continue. I
And
hope
they've
they
done
work the
really
issues
great
out.
And that's
together.
the tough
They've done
part.
really
'cause
great
it's like,
together.
when it starts off, Nike in Kanye, he gets mad because he had like a lot of like creative. I don't know the exacts of it, but it seemed like what he did with Nike, he had a lot of creative freedom to do something new and kind of do what he wanted at the time. But obviously, he didn't have any royalties, and Nike was short-sighted in their
He
future.
wanted to do more.
Yeah.
Yeah, of what these things were, and that's totally like viable, or maybe the industry wasn't even ready for it at that
Maybe,
point.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And then he goes to Adidas, where it's like now he has so much freedom, so much resources, so much like financials behind it. It seems,
Yeah.
and then that doesn't satisfy the situation either, so it's like it's tough to like where is the sweet spot for Kanye in reality, because I feel like maybe if you ask Kanye, he would want Adidas just to give Adidas to him, you know what I mean? Like that would be like
I think he wants to be a creative director.
I can see that.
And you said that before, or like
Yeah.
wants a seat on the board, or things like that.
which I can
He's
see
fighting for it, yeah.
I can see is like something that like maybe something like that is doable. I just don't know what a whole brand run by Kanye, like the whole company,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Adidas is such like a.
There's a million different things going on.
That's what I mean. Where it's not, even though Yeezy's like the hot stuff that's like selling, there's
Yeah.
still so many other like jobs and roles and markets and all this sort of stuff that like Adidas has to play into.
Right.
yeah.
Where they have to like make jerseys for teams and
Right,
like
right,
sport
right. That's
cleats
fair.
and just like track spikes and
Yeah.
all this stuff.
Things that have nothing to do with Yeezy.
Where it's like if does Adidas decide that like they just want to be 100% Yeezy and just throw all that stuff?
But
like,
that I don't
out
think
the
that would
window?
happen. That won't.
No
wouldn't,
way.
That wouldn't happen.
No way.
There's too much heritage and classics.
Yeah. Where would Rihanna and you get their sneakers from?
I don't. It's just a tough like it's just tough to figure out like what is the actual real sweet spot.
I think that's the tough part
Yeah.
of anything.
How do you satisfy both
Just
parties?
finding the sweet spot.
Because obviously Kanye's gonna probably want more than like realistically can happen to some degree. Like what would actually make him really happy wouldn't just be like a seat on the board. It would be like this, and it's like, can Adidas realistically do that as like this like $1 billion sportswear brand? I don't know.
Yeah. I hope they figure it out, and I hope we
Made
continue
a lot
to
of
see
magic
more.
together.
Yeah, I mean that makes it sound like it's ending or something.
No, I'm saying like,
Yeah.
well, no, we don't know if it's ending, but
It just seems
We
like a
want
really
that.
tricky role for everyone
Yeah.
involved in this situation where it's like, what do we do?
there's another story came in last week after the podcast.
What?
The story that you broke
Oh,
about the
Zadeh Kicks.
Zadeh Kicks.
Zadeh Kicks.
Zadeh
Zadeh
Kicks.
Kicks.
Zadeh Kicks.
Zadeh Kicks.
All right.
What's the update on that?
Criminal charges.
Cool Gray's
Yeah.
600. What was it?
Yeah,
600,000.
he took in orders for 600,000 pairs of cool grade Jordan 11s on pre-order and was only able to actually procure 6,000 of them to fulfill. But that
That's
boosted his
crazy.
business in a way. He got $70 million off these pre-orders.
That's crazy, man.
If you don't know about Zadeh Kicks, please go look at all our coverage of it already. This is now infamous sneaker reseller in Eugene, Oregon. A guy I've talked to an okay amount over the past decade. Not a ton, but we've been in contact.
And you had that one crazy, like totally unrelated,
Yeah.
at least at the time, like story. of,
Still
like-
is.
Yeah. No evidence that it is related.
Yeah.
But of his warehouse of collection of
Yeah.
shoes being burnt to the ground.
Yeah, catching on fire and all that stuff he had to do with insurance to sort that out. But yeah,
Crazy.
yeah, it's funny too because you think about the cool gray details stick out specifically, and this is I think indicative of and reflective of his how the business went wrong of this thing of selling all these pre-orders and
And
not
not
having
being
any
able to
way to
fulfill.
fulfill them.
It's crazy because that number, just like mathematically, 600,000, right? Like
How many do you think were made?
over a
Over
million.
a million for sure.
But even if it's only over, say if it's over a million, say it's like,
Still.
it's definitely not like, I wouldn't think that it was like 2 million. You
Right.
know what I mean? I would think that if it was over a million, it was maybe like 1.1 or 1.2. The way that like,
I believe I would guess between 1 and 2 million cool grays are made.
the way that like Jordan's slowly been like making more of the
Yeah, yeah,
11s.
yeah.
I maybe don't know if they made 2 million,
Yeah.
but if they made 1.2, 1.3, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
That you thought you were going to somehow procure potentially 50% of the market of this shoe.
It's a lot.
I mean, there's no way that you could
It's a lot.
reasonably think that you would. You know, you had to have known at that point that this was not viable.
And even if it was 2 million pairs, right?
Yeah.
You're still talking about 28%, you know, or 20 something percent
Yeah.
of the market, which is totally unreasonable with a shoe that we can do snatch the shoes out of people's hands that are buying them.
And it's
Like,
interesting too because in that instance, the amount that he was able to get sounds small. That he only fulfilled 6,000
6,000.
pairs of cool grays for pre-orders, but it's like, damn, you really got six. Like that's a lot of pairs of cool grays for a reseller to have. But part of this is that he was getting shoes just from resale sites like StockX, and like it wasn't any special backdoor.
There was no
connection,
operation
you
in
know?
hand. He was just buying
Yeah,
things.
or at least complementing some type of like early pair situation with just
did he
buying them.
have? But did he have like an employees or like other?
Yeah, I
people?
think there was a little team. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
the criminal charges are filed against him and then his partner Bethany, who is involved in the business as well. I think she's named as the CFO in it, maybe, and he's the CEO of Zadeh Kicks. Zadeh Kicks. So yeah,
Is there like will there be a trial?
there's an arraignment this week. There's a
Are you gonna go to any
first
of that
hearing.
stuff?
We'll be paying very close attention. Yeah,
Sean Sataro? Your son Sean Sataro?
Sean Sataro is always
He was
always
helpful
an
in that,
asset
right?
to
You know,
us,
you know
yeah.
what's crazy is that I will admit that when this thing first happened,
You were
because
like
I know
I remember.
you're super into like the sneaker law, like
Yeah,
criminal stuff.
any legal proceedings around footwear brands or sneaker reselling.
It doesn't excite me personally, like
Yeah.
on a personal level, like as much. I know it's big news and all that sort of stuff, but I like personally, I'm not like, oh shit, like you know, like
Yeah.
super true crime digging into it. And I didn't think when this happened, because you guys were like, oh no, this is going to be huge, and then like, I don't think it really popped off like the initial round of news. It didn't have the same spread as like the Marcus Jordan
For sure.
conspiracies on the internet, you know.
Actually, I said for sure very quick, but I may disagree. But anyway, sorry, keep going.
I'm just saying as far as like the people on Twitter
Okay.
kind of like using it as an excuse, or like the Joey Bear, like that whole thing, definitely just felt like it was way more of like a.
Insidery reseller type thing.
It felt way more commonplace of like you mentioned something on Twitter and everyone in the comments is like, oh well, Joey Bear or Marcus Jordan, like it was
Yeah.
always an excuse for like any random sneaker story.
Okay.
And I didn't really see this popping up on like the same level of like
Infamy.
cultural ubiquity.
Now,
Yeah.
changed.
I don't know if it's changed yet, but I'm like, oh, it may grow to
Well,
that
as the
flashpoint.
as the details come out and you could see like 600,000 pairs of cool grays, I think it helps to hit harder because it's the context is like.
But you also have to. But you're saying it. He wanted to get 600,000 pairs. It's
But I'm
not
saying
like he actually got.
Right.
When you read like all the intricacies of
Yeah.
like the documents,
Yeah.
is one thing, and then when you see like a number like that, that's like the
Sorry,
easy digestible
If-
thing. Like he took pre-orders for 600,000
which
cool grays.
which sucks for the people like involved in it, even though a lot of them were resellers themselves. But it's not like he won't get vilified, I don't think, as much as like the boogeyman, as much as like, even though maybe he's selling more shoes, you know, I don't think culturally Zadeh Kicks will get placed as he's the reason why you couldn't get shoes.
In the same way that happened to Marcus Jordan and that happened to Joey Bear.
Yeah. Because didn't you feel like when that happened, everyone used like that as like the,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
The like, I'm not saying the reality
I
of
see-
it.
I-
I'm not
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
the
yeah.
reality of it, but you would see in like we'd post
Totally
like
unrelated things.
You just-
these sold out on sneakers. Oh, it's because of Joey Bear.
Right,
which was
right,
like
that's
not
I just don't see
reality on any level.
I don't see people using this situation maybe as the scapegoat in the same way that they were. Not that those were really the reasons behind it,
Right.
but I just don't know if in the pop cultural context that this is going to become like the next like reason why you can't buy shoes.
No, I don't
it
think
does.
so. No, not
Different.
Not in the same way.
It's different. It's different.
Quite different. Yeah.
All right.
But isn't it funny though that that's the one thing in sneaker culture nowadays where everyone wants an excuse to why they can't
Missing
buy
out on
shoes?
sneakers?
They're almost just looking.
Even
for,
though the actual reason is like very easily understandable and very basic. It's just that Nike doesn't make enough shoes for you to get the shoes because there's 10 million of us that want the shoes and there's only one of you, and that's why you didn't get the shoes.
oh man, you just like
Although 6,000 out of 600,000, is that still better than
6,000.
he fulfilled 6,000
still one.
pairs?
It's still 1%.
It might still better odds than sneakers, maybe.
Do you think when you go to, I mean, I'm sure that maybe there's data out there on it, but when you like enter a raffle, or like say it's like a Travis Scott, like a Travis Scott Air Jordan, what do you think your actual percentage of hitting on that is?
Less than 1%. We had this conversation
Oh.
last week. I don't have a lot of data, but
Yeah.
there's a little bit of data that we have leaked in the past about how much demand they serve within the sneakers app. But I don't. It's too hard to just. I don't know. Less than 1%. For
But
sure.
so he's having better odds.
I mean, yeah, I mean, kind of. But it's kind of
Procuring-
skewed,
procuring
but it's a
shoes.
Jordan 11. You know, I don't know.
I mean,
I said it mostly as a joke. But
yeah.
I saw the joke you made
Thank you.
in Slack.
No, just now
Oh, but you made the same one.
in Slack. Yeah. Sometimes I recycle the jokes.
Yeah, it's all good. Just in case you miss greatness once.
Oh, what an exciting week!
Big week.
One restock before we go that I don't even know if I'm gonna go for it, but
The pandas?
no, the Tom Sachs
Okay.
GPS.
Oh,
this was be a
right.
restock of that. That shoe's been. I know you didn't like it at first. How,
True.
do you still feel the same way?
Yeah, I just don't really care about it.
Grew on you, though.
They've been like the more I've been seeing them. At first, I was kind of like
Really, you? Well, sorry. Go
It,
ahead.
it felt very like I guess the joke about it is like, oh, it's very J. Crew.
Yeah.
At first, but you've seen a lot more people actually wearing it, and I feel like seeing it on foot, like the shoe's really not as bad as people like made it out to be.
Mm-hmm. People meaning me.
No, I mean just in general, people didn't seem that excited by it like upon the first go round.
Yeah.
Of like maybe it's a bubble or whatever of like on Twitter, you know.
Yeah, I think as it grows and I think as new colorways come out, people are going to appreciate it
Could
more.
we potentially see JLP in a GPS?
Definitely. Definitely, potentially. Definitely. I've seen some colorways leaked.
Okay.
You know what shoes I like as a random? Shouts to our guy, Mooby.
What up,
Saw
movie?
those brain dead Reeboks.
Yeah,
Can we get those?
That's the one with like the fuzzy laces on it.
Yeah.
we
and
can make that happen.
Those are dope.
All right. Joe La Puma and
He
Reebok.
won't agree. He'll just say, all right. So, yeah, they are.
No, I wasn't expecting that at all.
I know. I don't expect it either. I like those, though.
Wait, what? Because now I'm starting to think. Because I don't think that you would wear the original colorway of the
Me?
GPS.
Wasn't
right?
there a yellow and orange swoosh one?
You talking to Joe or talking?
Yeah,
to me?
sorry.
This
talking-
one.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think like what color that shoe could come in that Joe would like. Because obviously they're
I'm
not
still
going to.
surprised that you're coming around to the shoe. Like,
don't mind
can't
it.
ever picture Welty wearing that type of shoe.
GPS. I don't mind it.
Okay.
You can't see me wearing this?
Maybe.
Are you gonna go for the restock?
I would wear.
Yeah, Joe would wear that.
I was trying to think because I'm like they're definitely not making the GPS in like a
Black.
like in a black.
This yellow one I like.
Well, I hope both
Has
of
the
you get
red
the pairs
tab.
that you want. Just
I
make sure
own
they're
it.
the right size. I'm definitely a 10.5. Did we check the width when we did the Brannock
He's
Device?
trying. He's trying.
You think your foot's a little thick?
Look, a 4E,
Just a little thick.
a 4E, 10, a 9.5 4E. No,
You have
There's-
no idea how much I'm going to just be wearing shoes now and think about how they should be smaller.
What?
But dude, a half size is not a real.
And listen,
I need to
everything
do?
runs
easier,
different.
Is it
Thank
easier
you.
to hit on a 10 or a 10.5? You think?
10.
So you just actually came up, right?
Wait,
I
are
didn't
those
come up because all the
tho-
shoes I have
these
are
are 11.
obsolete.
No, are those New Balances his size?
The tiny baby ones. Wow. No,
I'm
those
kidding. All right, listen. Lot going on.
Yes.
Some impromptu moments. Mm-hmm. Sorry for the audio. Watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Though. When we broke the Brannock device out, watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, I
Okay.
hope. Yeah, they were complaining about the audio that we stepped away from the mics for a 10-minute segment.
Exactly.
Sorry about that.
Hope the audio's better. Let us know. We turned it
Let
up.
us know.
All right, guys. Listen, another week. Hope everyone has a great weekend. This has been the Complex Sneakers Podcast. Please like, subscribe. We will see you next week.